Battle of Fleurus. We end turn 3. Interesting stuff. Some more in the Cav Center. Basically, it's mainly been reforming, although one Protestant Cav struck one of the Catholic ones down here and destroyed it. We also had attacks going the other way that weren't effective. For the infantry, the Protestant infantry jumped off to move first so they could capture one of these guns, then they managed to get the other one after taking some fire from it. And that was bonus fire at close range. But the response coming from this heavy, and to some extent from this one, damaged the Protestant units. Some of these routed, they're going to be moving further away. They haven't gotten a chance to rally. Other than that, it looks pretty sad for the Protestants in a way. I think that middling advance, that confusion I created was just terrible for them. It's hard to tell. I didn't even get to fire my artillery. The only thing I could have fired at was this thing. I rotated this one so it would get a chance, but I didn't get a second activation, so I didn't get a shot. Everything for the Protestants is still in charge, which is not where I want it. And this guy, badly damaged, trying to move forward. He's the only thing preventing them from falling into rally. This guy can't get his morale check so that he can attack. It's kind of amusing. In turn 4, the Protestants are going to get all the first actions. We moved the infantry up a little bit, some engagement along here, and then some reforming. They managed to drop into receive charge. They got one continuation. Well, most of the Catholic response is in reforming. This trying to get better, and we put Cordoba over there. The Cav over here kind of gathering together. Got one here and one up here. Doing fine. The infantry side not so well. I pushed away, broke one Protestant unit here, but I lost one of my Spanish infantry. Fugger! And now this poor guy's alone, out of command, having a lot of trouble there. It's kind of tough to figure out what we can do. I'm getting a lot of glare off that lamp. Okay, have to pull it back a little bit. It's a little better, I guess. Hey, if I do this, it's not so bad. It's coming on the camera, I think. I don't know how to fix that. Alright, anyway, that's it for turn 4. I lost Caracciolo, who was in command of the center wing. We got to see if he miraculously survives. Nah, he's in the dead. And we get Verdugo in his place. I want to keep him in command of the multiple units, even though this is important. I look at that Spanish center as more important as long as I have 2 units there. Now, over here, I still haven't loosed those. Not a lot they can do right now. They're just in make ready, so they couldn't really do a whole lot of damage, but they may be what I need at this point, just to get a little extra Catholic strength on the field. Okay, now starting off this 5th turn, we open up with and I think I did it, no, I did it in the right order. These guys were in charge, but they were formation broken. They fall into rally. Only one unit there, forced into that. And then over here, the Spanish Cav were moving the light infantry out, and the Cav came pushing forward. They destroyed, actually that's not it, it's over here. One unit rode by, created a hedgehog here, and then got repulsed, but this other one destroyed a Protestant Cav. I'm still having a hard time calling this one. It's bloody, but it doesn't look great for the Protestants, but I'm not convinced that they've lost it yet. We'll see. The Protestant infantry does a good job of breaking up. It destroys the one Spanish big unit over here. It has now shifted into a position to cope with those. These guys had a reform. that I didn't take. They got several momentums. Only one chance to reform this hedgehog, though. Alright. One of the interesting little factors in this game, I slipped this central infantry, which is just these two units now, the Spaniards, into a nice little formation, a nice little wedge, then got into a charge, and they maintained that charge, and now not only are they out of command, which will, of course will get fixed, because unless I bop the leader back and forth, there's sort of a trick you can do there to keep two units going. But you can see that formation just fell apart. It was this nice little angle going, and I would have liked to have just slid the whole angle down, which movement-wise I could do, as long as I'm not in charge. But in charge, I had to go chasing some cav over here, as well as hitting the units, the infantry that I wanted to hit. And I've done a pretty good job here. Routed one, sent another one into morale shake, and I chased the cav away. But now my formation sucks. I'm open. That should be it for them. We got some Protestants left somewhere, don't we? We got the Christian, and then we got this one last cav down here. Turn ends without much more happening. Some rallying going on here. This guy reforming, getting himself into make ready, making his way slowly up to a charge. He's fully formed and ready. This guy's not, and because of his higher orders rating, he's going to get to move before this gets to reform anymore. So it was okay to kind of take your time to move Cordoba over here. I've got that routing unit to take care of. But I do want to check to see if I get this guy back, and I do not. So we got another Spanish death. That's the right wing. I got to find somebody on the right wing. There's somebody around somewhere. I'll find him. For the Catholic part of turn 7, well, this guy dropped into rally. I think I forgot about these guys and did it automatically. It probably would have happened anyway. I'm not sure I wanted it to happen with these guys in play. They were in charge, though. Started recovering. Over here, the center continued that bouncing back and forth between units to get things going. Some fire here that worked, and an advancing fire here that just chased the cav away. And then finally over here, got the left flank cav into a charge to hit the somewhat weaker looking Protestant cav. It ended up, I think I was at -1 on the attack anyhow, because this was actually, even though it's formation shaken, etc., it's cuirassiers, and it was a larger unit than the arquebusters who hit it. The cuirassiers ended up destroying it, so now the Protestant right flank is unchallenged with its one big cav unit. Meanwhile, the center looks like it's going more in the Catholic direction right now, but it's tough to tell. This has just been a real bloodbath so far. We'll see what the Protestants can do with their half the turn. They got cannons still, at least. An interesting situation. So Mansfeld was in kind of the position where he could have probably run across and taken command of these units after activating the other units over here, but he wanted some rallies, which meant he had to take his run across to get to a different unit that he wanted to activate to do some formation changes or rallies or whatever that he wouldn't have been able to do had he moved forward and switched. He doesn't have that kind of position with just two units that he can run back and forth between easily. So his heavy infantry is kind of struggling its way back to get back to his lines as opposed to where he was before. And I don't think I've done him yet. We'll try to get him out of rally. That didn't work, but you can get rid of that either way. Alright, that ends turn 7 then. So we push into turn 9. The game's kind of devolved into this, I don't know, sort of blundering around, doing minor repairs, etc. on your forces, every now and then getting something into charge so that it can hit. But there just aren't enough units to maintain sort of this longer press than you're used to. and just not a lot of action going on. We had a Spanish unit charge down, attack one of the Protestant infantry. But that's really about it. Everything else is just trying to get these formations back into some sort of status that they can do something. To a large extent, reforming the individual units that have been hit here, there, and everywhere. It's almost as though the whole battle's kind of stopped. Here in the 9th turn of Fleurus, sort of some confusion with these infantry units. First, the Catholic infantry attack. Now, we lost the leader there, but wiped out a Protestant infantry. And then the Protestant infantry tried attacking flank and rear on this unit. Ended up, of course, breaking it formation-wise, but they were repulsed, even though they had like a +3 to the die roll. No chance of breaking into the momentum there, the continuation. Get my games confused, because all we had left was this unit over here in rally. So now the Protestants have their 2 cav wings still left, though. The lost Catholic leader actually came back. You needed a 0 to have that happen immediately. Only on a 0 or a 1 does he not end up as a casualty. Only 2 more turns left. Brian had suggested this was going to end early, but when commands start getting small, it's tough to get them to engage at any level of real commitment. Basically, you have to reform the whole unit, and then, leaving some flanks protected, etc. It makes it tough to actually handle it. So it's a short battle because I got rid of most of the pieces. They're over here in terms of the amount of time played, but it's still taking the full game span, it looks like. Well, what had been seeming like a fairly even battle between the infantry, actually the Protestants had more infantry. The entire Protestant army, just the infantry center, just dissolved. A couple of strikes, then a final kind of rally to try to get everything ready. This was stupid, right? You don't really want to make the rolls on morale, improving, trying to rally broken units. I had a broken unit here, a broken unit here. This guy, well, the -1 counts in. The guy here rallies automatically. -1 comes in, so only on a 0 through 2 would he have been able to rally. He failed. This one failed. I've got to remember not to try to rally units. But it's kind of a tough thing because I think the battle was fairly even drawn, but I took a high risk. Hey, come on guys, once more! And well, the army just dissolved because of it. I never quite know what to do. But anyway, what do we have left? We have both Protestant wings and both the cav wings and the Catholic remaining cav left to go. See where that all gets us. Then do Christian's cav manage to destroy one of the big heavies there? And then I tried a shot with Ortenberg here, charging 1 in. He's only at a total of -1. He was destroyed hitting the rear of this Catholic unit. I didn't check for the Catholic leader. He didn't die. But there went the right-wing cav for the Protestants. So now we're down to 4 Protestant cav versus a heavy, a Catholic cav, and 4 Catholic light infantry. The Catholic light infantry probably guaranteed that the Catholics are going to keep most of the terrain victory points. Thereby, they've destroyed the Protestant army in this action. So, I don't know. All we got left is that rear guard, the cav. See what we can do with that. Maybe try to protect this guy a little bit. I don't know. Oh, who's here? Wait, this isn't cav, that's infantry. Neat. And there we're at the end. Christian's cav ended up destroying the rest of the heavy infantry. The Catholics are down to these lights. They were able to keep this one out of the Protestant hands. Some artillery tried to knock the light infantry out of here so that Mansfeld could get the points for at least one of the 4 locations. We've got a couple of leaders to check. They're probably losses, both the Catholic main leaders. The infantry leader, there goes Cordoba. And who's this? This Verdugo has been knocked out twice and returned twice. It's not lucky this time. Looks like he's finally bled to death. Well, I'll come back after the points are assigned. But boy, that was a bloodbath. Alright. So the total points, including the terrain, 182 for the Catholic, 157 for the Protestants. Obviously, take the 45 off. More Protestants or more Catholics were killed there, but we're looking at a 25-point advantage for the Catholics. And let's see, from 19 to -10 is a draw, and from 29 to 39 is a marginal Catholic victory. I think when it falls in that range between draw and marginal, it's considered this tiny little sliver, sort of like a moral victory for the Catholics. Historically, the Spaniards actually did a little bit better with a differential of 30. So, I would say that's not too bad, except the losses were much higher, 130 versus 100. Here we were at 182, 157. So, you know, the Catholics pretty much destroyed that Protestant army. It's not going to be able to get Spinola to go anywhere, I don't think. What was the historical result? It's the only battle where both players must win a military victory and not just perform better than historically. The historical situation, Mansfeld went past the Spanish. Now note, the Spanish won a victory according to the game historically. And then more losses on the army, but Spinola had to withdraw. I'm not sure either of these armies is enough to force Spinola. Well, I'm not sure the Protestant army is enough to force Spinola to withdraw. I don't think the Catholic army is enough to really intervene too much, but it's about the same size. Anyway, that's where we have it. I think strategically destroying the Protestant army that much probably would be enough to have prevented it from gaining whatever strategic advantage it had. However, the tactical victory was almost as successful. Actually, the Protestants did a little better than they did historically here. But wow, what a death toll! All right, up it goes.